Okay, so following on from the last lesson, the more visually astute of you will notice that this scratch disk now is at the bottom of the folder structure, whereas before it was at the top. That's simply because I've restarted Lightroom, and Lightroom's gone and put them in alphabetical order. Okay, so where did we finish the previous lesson? Yes, we put these images inside this drop folder on our scratch disk. If I twirl the little twirly arrow, you can see that original SEQ folder that the pictures are actually living in at the moment is actually now a subfolder of that freshly created drop folder on this particular drive. So firstly, can we actually move the files from one folder to another? Well, of course we can, because when we clicked on when we had the active folder as drop, it's obviously showing us 8 pictures, but those 8 pictures are within a subfolder, and it's always displaying the number of images in total in any folder, including subfolders, if you follow me meaning. So firstly, what we can do is select the SEQ file, and we can actually move SEQ file, SEQ folder, and we can actually move these files up one directory, right, by simply selecting them all and dragging them to the next highest folder in the folder structure and letting go, and we'll get the move files on disk dialog box again. We click move, and there we go, 0 in the SEQ folder and 8 now moved up one level in the folder structure. So what we can do now is right click on that SEQ folder and go remove, because we don't need it. Now obviously leaving these pictures on my scratch disk isn't really a very good idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them over onto this 8 terabyte RAID set here, but I'm going to create a folder structure. So first off, we'll go add a folder, and we're going to be adding the folder on the 8 terabyte RAID set. And we're going to go new folder, and let's be really orderly about this. So I will go mammals. Have I spelt mammals right? Don't know. And we'll go choose, and here we can see we've got this mammals folder. What I'm now going to do is go add a subfolder, put inside the mammals, and we'll call this dogs, and we'll click create, and then if we hit the little twirly arrow, we can see we've got a subfolder called dogs, and we can now go and add a subfolder to dogs called golden retrievers, and we'll go and click create. And I could, if I wanted to, then go and add another subfolder in here that maybe says action. So let's go and do that, and we'll go add a subfolder, and there we go, action. Click create, and then finally what we'll do is we'll come back to this drop folder on our scratch disk, and we will shift click and select all of those particular images of these golden retrievers running around playing. This is something I was doing, testing out the Nikon D500 on a 400mm f2.8. More of that at another juncture. So all we'll do is just drag and drop, wait for the folder to go blue, move files on disk, move. Boom, 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 boom. See them disappearing. And so now there are the files moved into a hierarchical structure of folders on a completely separate drive, and still all the developed settings are intact. And of course, now we discover that, well, you guys have already spotted it, the fact that the BFG here, your Uncle Andy, can't spell. So this gives me a good opportunity to illustrate to you the one final link in the chain, and that's renaming folders. Yeah, because there's 2 M's in mammals, well 3 I suppose if you want to be pedantic about it. So we select the folder because we need to rename it, we right click and we go rename, and basically I come and click in there and I type in another M. Of course, obviously I could change that folder name to anything I liked, so I'm just going to click save, and now your Uncle Andy looks like he can actually spell. Just a quick final note, you can see here on this drive, this 8TB RAID set, it says I've got 1912 photos. That 1912 photos doesn't refer to the number of files on the drive itself, but it does refer to the number of files on that drive that are actually in this Lightroom catalogue. Okay, and the same goes for RAW1, and the same goes for Scratch. Let's be methodical about this. We don't need that drop folder because it was only there for a test, so we'll go ahead and click remove, and now you'll see, because there's no folders in there's no images in any folders on that particular drive, that particular drive has now disappeared from our folder structure, basically to save your workspace or your work area getting cluttered. So where are we? Come on, down you come. Action. 8. Cool. So this is the number of photos that are on the drive that actually exist inside the Lightroom catalogue. We can actually change that value on all the drives simply by clicking on any one of the active drive lines or panels, and we can change that to disk space. So now we can see how much disk space we've actually got in total and how much we've used. And no, that's how much we've got free. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures on that drive or that RAID set. We could actually have status, and that would just tell us it's online, or we could have no value in there at all. I actually just prefer to leave it set to photo count. And there we go. So we've moved files between folders, we've now renamed folders, and we've generated a folder structure and moved folders and files from one drive to another. So hopefully by now you understand exactly how to do all the basic elements of digital asset management in terms of moving files to different folders on different drives and structuring and renaming those particular folders. Okay, so I hope that was easy for you to understand, and I'll see you in the next lesson.